Hello and welcome to my match reaction. I'm BluenoseLJ. Fulham 2, Everton 3, and we really did make hard work of that for ourselves at the end of the game. That is the epitome of Everton Football Club. At one point at the end of the first half, we're 3-1 up, playing really good football, in total control of the game, looking like that we could possibly go on and win 4 or 5-1. And yet at the end, we've barely held on for the victory. We were under a lot of pressure in that second half, especially after they scored the second goal. The last 20 minutes were really uncomfortable to watch. We couldn't seem to get out of our own half, and Fulham were putting a lot of pressure on us. And in the end, from the second half, if Fulham would have got that third goal, the equalising goal, you probably would have said it was deserved the way that we played in that second half. But a win is a win. It is 3 points. It moves us up the table, up to sixth at the moment on 16 points. Takes us back up towards the top teams in the league. And ends obviously that 4-game run where we didn't win. Obviously, the last 3 games that we've lost as well. So that is really important to get the win, and that is the most important thing out of it. So the positives are that we've managed to hold on and we've managed to get that victory, which, like I say, is really important after the last 4 games. Takes us back up amongst the top teams. Important after the likes of Chelsea and Tottenham winning over the weekend as well, and also Manchester United, teams below us. They're on 13 points as well, where we were, obviously, until we got the 3 points from this game. Um, with them beating us last week as well, it was really important to not stay around the middle of the table, which obviously if we would have lost or even drawn today, that's exactly where we would have been. But we've managed to get the victory, which is the most important thing. Now, as for the performance, it was a quick start. It was obviously that was important as well after the way we've been playing the last few games. Goal within 1 minute, good build up. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to be there to score. Was a little bit lucky the first goal, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin has to be there. He's absolutely on fire at the moment, looking like everything that he touches is a potential for a goal. He's fully embraced this one touch, one goal thing that Carlo Ancelotti has tried to instill in him. Uh, the 2 goals that he scored, one touch, the disallowed goal that he scored as well. Absolute awesome finish. If that would have been a goal, that was an absolute fantastic finish. Again, one touch. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin is definitely on fire at the moment. I think that's 13 or 14 goals this season now. When he scored 15 last season, definitely going to get into double figures. He's looking like a top quality striker at the moment. And it really does look like every opportunity that he gets is a potential for Everton to get a goal, which is obviously really important. We haven't had that kind of striker for a long time, and it has shown in seasons past. But yeah, he's fully embraced that one touch, one goal, and that is definitely working wonders for him. He does a lot more than that. The build up play that he gets involved in, and the hold up play, and winning headers here, there, and everywhere when the ball goes up to him. He's very physically strong, obviously, and he's really, really good in the air. But yeah, he's added that finishing to his game, and that's taken him to the next level. Now, we look a totally different team when Richarlison is playing, and we've really missed him the last 3 games, which he's been missing. We just look like a team that when we're going forward, we have something and we can create opportunities when Richarlison is playing. We need to learn how to win without him, but at the moment, he is a really, really important player for us, and we just look a totally different side. when he's playing, and he creates a lot for us. So that was really good. Now, after we scored, we kind of, I don't know whether we sat back or we just allowed Fulham to come onto us. And for the next 20 minutes, we didn't really play good football. We were again under a little bit of pressure. They didn't really create too much apart from the goal that they scored. Um, and it was a good finish. It was a good goal from Fulham. Mina definitely should have been a lot tighter, and he was very slow to react. I thought Mina. I'll talk a little bit about him in a minute, but he had a poor game. Um, Now, after they scored the goal, we kind of got back into it a little bit, and then we started to create some chances. Obviously, the disallowed goal from with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, like I say, brilliant finish. If it would have stood, would have been a fantastic goal. But he did get the second goal, again with that one-touch finish. Another really good build-up and a really good goal, to be honest. Deservedly so. We went back into the lead. And then we really started to be a bit more free. We a little bit more creative, and we definitely looked in control once we went 2-1 up. Now I was thinking at that point, I'm not really too sure what Decore offers us, and I'm not sure exactly what he has actually contributed, especially to the game. And then he pops up with a really good finish, a really good header. Which he hasn't done in any of the previous games. I think that side of his game he needs to add to as well. But it was a really good finish, and 3-1 up. We were in total control of the game at that point. Um, and we, like I say, we really did look like that we could go on and win 4 or 5-1. We then, for the last 7 or 8 minutes of that game, we kind of just sat back and passed the ball about, and we didn't really push on to get that fourth, which I we really could have gone on and done. We were definitely the team in control, and for me, I think we should have gone on and tried to get that fourth goal, but we just allowed the first half to play out, and we've accepted a 3-1 win, a 3-1 going into the break. And I think that was possibly the wrong thing for us to do. We should have gone on and just killed the game, which probably is what top teams would do, and it's something that we need to learn, and probably we will do in the future as we get more confident, as we grow as a team. But yeah, we definitely should have gone on and killed the game off. In the second half, we didn't really get going. I think Richarlison and Rodriguez both started to tire, and it looked like you could see that they were getting tired, and the game was passing them by a little bit. And the problem is that we brought on two substitutes in Sigurdsson and Davies who don't really offer us too much. Davies didn't really do too much bad, but didn't do anything fantastic. But as for Sigurdsson, he literally offers us nothing. He's a shadow of the player that he was 2 seasons ago, and I don't really see a future for Sigurdsson. It is almost like we're going down to 10 men when Sigurdsson comes on. He just runs around, doesn't really do too much, points his finger, and he doesn't create anything, doesn't really break up play, doesn't really offer us anything. And I do think that Sigurdsson's time is limited at the club. Whether he stays after in January, I just don't see after January him featuring too much. The likelihood is that we're going to bring in somebody like Isco, and that probably will mean that Sigurdsson drops down the pecking order, and yeah, it's probably time for Sigurdsson to move on now. And probably the same for Davies as well. I just don't see Davies breaking into that team, especially as we start to purchase more and more top quality players of Rodriguez and Isco like type, Davies really is going to be struggling and limited for playing opportunities, and he's just not on that kind of level anyway. Now, obviously, when Richarlison comes off, it, when we bring on Sigurdsson, we don't have at the moment. We have a top quality 11, but we just don't have that squad at the moment, and it really shows when Richarlison comes off and we bring on Sigurdsson and Davies that we just lose something, and like I say, they just don't offer us too much. Personally, I would have liked us to have continued to push on. And I would have rather to see somebody like Tosun come on, where we still have that attacking, um, presence up front, and you can't replace Richarlison when he comes off. He's a world class player, and we just don't have that at the moment to come off the bench. But when you bring on Sigurdsson, it is like going down to 10 men. I would have much rather Tosun to come on and give us something and to continue to push forward. Um, I have to point out Iwobi. I have been one of his worst critics over the last, I don't know, season and a bit that last January that he came to us. It's been disappointing, especially with the fee that we played for him, which was way over the top. But he was really good today. Some of the play that he did, some of the skills, I thought he had definitely his best game for us. But I think it was a really good game. Maybe the midweek hat trick that he scored obviously has boosted his confidence a little bit, but he looked like a totally different player. He still needs to. There's much that he needs to work on, especially his crossing. I think sometimes he crosses the ball without actually having a target in mind. He just crosses the ball, and that's something he needs to work on. But it was a completely different Iwobi today. He even at the back as well made some challenges that were quite important as well. So much respect to Iwobi. Whether he is a player that can push on from that and become a regular in the team, I'm not too sure about that. I think he's probably booked himself a spot against Leeds for our next game, and we'll see whether he can continue that. I do hope so. I don't want any player at Everton to fail. I want to see the best from everyone. I would love it if Iwobi proved everybody wrong and formed a career at Everton. If he plays like that, there's every opportunity for him to do so. But he has to perform like that every single week, week in, week out. He has to create chances. He has to run about. He has to break up play. He has to go on little runs that he did, and that's something only he can do. I really hope that he proves everybody wrong. I really want every Everton player to succeed at Everton. I don't want any Everton player to fail. When we bring in players, I want to see them perform their best. And Iwobi is just another one of those. Regardless of the price tag, I'd love for him to be an Everton player and perform for us. Clearly, he has the ability to do so. It's just up to him now to do that on a weekly basis. But I do think that he's managed to push himself certainly into contention for the next league game. Now, in the midfield and back, Alan had a very good game, I thought, as well, breaking up play. Alan did what he does. He's probably going to be one of these players that really just goes under the radar, and isn't. He's not going to create too much. He's not going to score too many goals, but he's not going to do too much flair. But he's just going to break up that play, and he's just going to be there, be a nuisance for players. um, the attacking opposition, and yeah, he's just gonna. You're not really going to see Alan stand out too much, but he's just going to be there, and that's exactly what he did today. And I thought he had a really good game. Ben Godfrey, at the start of the game, I think he was a little bit overrun. They had a few chances down our right hand side, their left hand side. But he did grow into the game and he kind of stopped that. And he had a lot more opportunity, especially in the second half, because they were attacking so much. But he had an okay game. The rest of the team were pretty decent as well. I thought everybody played well, apart from Mina. For me, Mina is just. He had a brilliant game for us against Brighton and Hove Albion, where he just seemed to get in the way of everything. But this game just it was very, very poor from Mina, and I just don't see him as our regular centre back. And if we are going to push on, we do need to replace Mina. He was far too slow with the first goal to react. Just allowed their attacker to run through. It was a good finish. There's nothing against the finish. Pickford had no chance really at all, but Mina was far too slow. Now the second goal, where it comes off of Mina. Now I don't blame Mina for obviously the deflection and taking it in. Actually, what I blame Mina for was that if you watch that back, Loftus Cheek had about 3 yards around him where literally nobody was picking him up, and Mina just basically left him, and he had far too much space. And it's taken a deflection off of Mina and gone in, but he just shouldn't have had that space, and I think that was Mina's fault. He was definitely at fault for that second goal. And like I say, I just don't really see Mina as being a top quality defender. If we are going to be finishing in the top six, top four, we really need to replace. Obviously, the Holgate is coming back from injury, so I do expect Holgate and Keane to be our two centre backs. Obviously, we've got Godfrey as well, so that's a possible replacement for Mina. Again, I just like Sigurdsson. I just see him gradually leaving the first 11, then the squad, and then probably just leaving the club. Possibly next season if we bring somebody else in, but we'll see as the season progresses. But for me, he was definitely at blame for at least one of those goals, but probably two of the two goals. But yeah, we did look very good at the end of the first half. We really did look like a team that could go on and win that quite comfortably. And then at the end, we've barely held on for the win. Overall, I think in the second half, had Fulham got that equaliser, you couldn't really have said they didn't deserve the second half. Overall, I think that we deserved the win, and so we should have probably killed the game off, but we didn't. But it is the win. It hopefully now we can go on a little run and we can find some form, the same kind of form that we got at the start of the season, and then rather than the start of the season being a good lucky start, the blip comes in the 4 games which we didn't really play too well, especially the 3 defeats without Richarlison. It is another win. Hopefully that we can go on another winning run now. We have Leeds and Burnley as our next 2 league games. Really, we do have every opportunity to do exactly that and push on now towards the upper half of that table, especially the Europa and the Champions League spots, and really fight for that. And if we can get 1 or 2 wins out of those the next 2 games, hopefully we can really push on and push on to for a place in Europe, which is exactly where we should be aiming for, and where this club must finish really this season if we really are to progress. And with the money that we've spent, we definitely should be getting at least Europa League. We definitely need Europe back next season in order to offer at least Europe to players that we're looking to try and sign and take us to that next level again. But yeah, it is a win. It's at the end maybe a little bit lucky, but we can only do what we the teams that are in front of us. We we've won the game 3-2. Yeah. So let's hope that we can continue that, and we'll see what we do against Leeds. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe. It really does help my channel with the YouTube algorithms and all of that kind of thing. It obviously helps you to be notified for my videos, which I'm trying to do on a regular basis as often as I possibly can, if you don't get bored of my rambling on. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on my next video.